Welcome to the Real Estate 401k Show. Here are your hosts, Ryan Gerdes, Mike Weinstein, and Justin Frederick, helping you build a legacy of wealth through real estate. Powered by the Real Estate 401k Group at West USA and the Frederick team with Fairway Mortgage and MLS number 625918.
Welcome back to the Real Estate 401k Show. Your host, Mike Weinstein, alongside Justin Frederick and Ryan Gerdes. The boys are back. It has been a while since all three of us have been in the studio. We have been busy. Yes.
Busy's a good thing.
Yeah.
We like it busy.
So, Ryan, the old adage, the quote, the great oracle, Ron White, you can't fix stupid. So this has been bugging me. And it's about you, Justin.
We like to talk shit right in front of your face. When you're not around is when we say nice things. Unless it's about Mike, then we talk shit about Mike behind his back.
All the
makes
time.
it more fun.
So for the people don't understand our team, we, the Real Estate 401k Group, we're a group of 25 real estate wealth managers, and Justin's got a pretty extensive team on the mortgage side with Fairway Independent Mortgage. And so every quarter, Ryan and I like to do a little team builder with the team, and our team, bar none, if there's no other reason to get your real estate license and join our team, you want to be part of our potlucks.
We
throw
in
down.
hot. We come in super hot.
So Justin shows up to the potluck, knowing he's leaving. It starts at 11. He knows he's leaving at 11:45. It's a potluck, and he brings a dish in a crock pot. And then he says, "Hey, I got to go. Can you clean that up and bring it with you?"
Yeah.
Wow, my
Rookie
wife's like, "What the hell?"
No, I feel like that's a pro move right there.
She goes, "Who brings a potluck when they know they're leaving an hour early?"
I mean, you can't come to a potluck without food.
Well, yes, that's true.
And I actually left this up to Amy. And yeah.
Oh, you're throwing her underneath the bus.
I am.
Yeah.
I was like, well, you brought a crock pot? We're not going to be able to take that with us. Like we could have put it in like a pan or something that we could have left.
Well, we sold it on eBay. I got $10.
Good.
Yeah. $10.
All right. So there are a myriad of reasons why the three of us live here in Arizona, raise our families here in Arizona, and invest in Arizona. And I know we have a lot of listeners from all around the country. And we talk so much about jobs, and we talk about appreciation and investing in real estate. But I found this study to be really interesting. And we have of the top 10 least stressful places to live in the country, of the top 10, we have 4 of our cities are in the top 10. And I know I don't like to mess around with people. So we'll just go out and get number 1 out of the way, Boise, Idaho. Mm-hmm. Boise, Idaho,
They're doing the best.
most least stressful place.
There,
Well, yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to say because I've never been to Boise, but I know a lot of people that own property in Boise and have been there. I can't imagine how you would be stressed. Like, what's there in Boise, Idaho to stress you out about?
A little bit of snow every now and then. I don't know.
It sounds like a beautiful place, but I've never been myself.
Oh, I've been. It's awesome. Yeah, they have great breweries. Their town is like
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it makes sense.
It's easy to get in and out of, but it's also like quaint. They have this awesome river that goes through it that people just, they go tubing up and down, kind of like our Salt River here. They
Probably on a larger scale, though, right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And there's just, everyone gardens and there's trees everywhere. I mean, compared to here,
Sure.
It's not like, Flagstaff or, some of these other places. But anyhow, I'm getting off subject here. It's a great town.
That's great.
It's a great town.
So just go ahead and talk everybody from
we're all
investing out here and going to Boise, right? Good job. We're going to talk about the intent of the podcast.
So what we're doing here is we're relocating our show to the greater Boise area. So if you're listening here locally in Arizona, then we apologize.
All right. So this study was based on a few things: economic diversity, job prospects, local policies, cities that have strong local economics, low unemployment rate, and access to financial resources compared to other areas in the state. So of the 10, Boise, Idaho is number 1. Then comes in Scottsdale, then Gilbert, then Chandler, and the fourth one for Arizona was a shock to me. and it was number 9 of 10 in the nation was Glendale, because the Coyotes stressed the shit out of me. The Cardinals stressed the shit out of me.
I also think so. I have a theory, and I probably should fact check this before I say it. But I think that they lump in a lot of Sun City into Glendale, and so when you take in the folks that have retired, I mean, I've heard some people say there's more millionaires per capita because they all have a high net worth and they're not spending a whole lot because they don't need much more. They've already bought all their retirement homes, and they've already done all of their big purchases, and they're not really into that game anymore, if you will. So
Yeah, I'm thinking you probably should have fact checked that.
I've actually read that myself, though.
I've read it. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
I just haven't gone to like any type of consensus bureaus to make sure that they're actually lumping those numbers in. But I've read that before.
So do you know what the difference is between like a Pebble Creek, which is an active adult community, Sun City is an active adult community. So Pebble Creek, big Robeson community, is 40 and over, and I think Sun City's 55 and over. So I always describe as Pebble Creek, you're just pulled into the parking lot of heaven. Sun City, you're in the waiting room, baby. You're almost there, man.
So I'm in the parking lot. You're in the waiting room.
So what does that mean for you guys as far as quality of life and investing and out of towners who are thinking about possibly relocating here to raise their families or invest here?
I'm seeing so Scottsdale has always been a major hub for tourism. People come here from all over the world to golf. They go to golf tournaments. There's fantastic hiking. There's auto shows, and then Barrett Jackson, and just on top of that, they do have a great nightlife and shopping and all those things that draw in massive crowds. Chandler, Gilbert, the East Side, Silicon Valley just bought up tons of land well over a decade ago, and just hundreds and hundreds of acres, and they've just been sitting on it. And now they're starting to develop it, and they're starting to relocate a lot of different major hubs, Fortune 500 companies over there, whether it be from manufacturing, distribution, retail, office space, you name it, they're tackling it all. And it was funny, I was just driving around yesterday, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot Facebook or Meta is moving in over here. And I mean, that's a couple square mile campus over there. And then just around the corner, you have Intel, and you have all these other huge, like, big names. And they've not only been there, but they're expanding. And so they're just, not only are they bringing in jobs, they've had jobs there. And we're not talking $30,000-$40,000 a year jobs.
Yeah.
We're talking some good significant
six-figure
jobs
in a lot of cases.
And so with that, a lot of these other anchors follow. So you're going to get the Costcos, the Walmarts, and the other kind of posh restaurant, nightlife, shopping, you name it, in there, because these people, they're making all this money, they need somewhere to spend it, right? So it's just been growing at a phenomenal rate, and we still have tons of room for more. Mm-hmm. We haven't even begun to get vertical. Mm-hmm. We have so much more horizontal growth that we have in front of us. So when I look at these other cities that are struggling, it doesn't take much to realize that, hey, they're kind of landlocked, and they've kind of gotten about as vertical as they can get, and people don't have as much opportunity there.
Well, then the question is, and obviously, when we're talking about just investing for investment's sake, completely different conversation. So I'm going with, I want to buy a home, I want to raise my kids, and I want to take advantage of this. Not going to call it stress-free, but one of these cities that has a low amount of stress on its residents. You mentioned Scottsdale, and we mentioned Chandler, and we mentioned Gilbert. At what point is it worth the premium? Because those aren't the cheapest cities in Phoenix to live in. Obviously, Paradise Valley is going to be probably the most expensive. And I would say, and you guys can disagree with me, of the four, I would say Glendale would probably present give you the least expensive opportunities to buy real estate.
Sure, depending on where you are,
Sure.
obviously.
Well, of course, yeah.
So, Glendale, they've just brought in so much stuff there too. I mean, it's a whole other expansion. That's basically it checks all the boxes that Chandler, Gilbert, Mesa, and all those areas are doing as well, with the Coyotes Stadium, with Cardinal Stadium. And they're doing, they have this massive, huge new casino there that's absolutely gorgeous.
And they're building a second one.
They're
I think.
building
They're building a
second one.
huge resort.
Yeah, right across the street from
Yeah.
the Wildlife World Zoo, which is kind of like a very urban
Oh, yeah.
area, and it's a more intimate type of zoo. And they're building this massive casino right across the street. And then the 303, I mean, Boeing, Nike, all these other big names are going in over there. And so that 303, it's wonderful now. Give it 10 years, it'll be a parking lot
Yeah.
during rush hour, just like the 202, the 101, the 60, you name it.
Well, regardless of area, it's so important to get the demographics of the area and really know the ins and the outs of neighborhoods and cities that you are considering. And we got great software that can put together that data for you. I would love to have a conversation with you and talk about the different cities, the benefits, and things maybe that you need to be aware of when it comes down to value and investing and so forth. But we'd love to have that conversation with you. All you got to do is text the word stress to 623-AZ-RECON. That's stress to 623-AZ-RECON. Probably should have come up with a more positive word.
Stress-free?
Stress-free.
Yeah.
Stressless.
Yeah. No stress.
Justin, what's your take on this?
I mean, I feel like this is a result of what has been going on here, and I feel like this probably has something to do with all the vacation rentals that we've seen here. All the ways to make money here and I definitely feel like it has something to do with the weather as well. I mean, you look at the most stressed markets: Chicago, Houston, New York. We're talking about wind, snow.
I'm glad
Fire,
you brought that
humidity.
up. I'm glad you brought that up. The cities in the nation that have the most distressed people is, as you mentioned, Chicago, Houston, and New York. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
And that makes sense.
Yeah, and just like Ryan said, those cities are vertical. I mean, Houston's going vertical right now, but yeah, Chicago and New York very vertical. But I feel like this is all a result of what Arizona has what these cities have brought in, such as waste management, Barrett-Jackson, all the quality of life living, the things that you get out and do to make you feel good and happy. I feel like that we've done it right here in Arizona, and really haven't seen. I haven't really stayed anywhere else or for a long period of time, but I really feel like the people that I've talked to, this place there's something special about it.
I think I want to just talk about Arizona as a whole before we wrap up, Ryan, because there has been a lot, and we talk about it a lot. And I think we're going to talk about it on Friday. There's been a lot of talk and discussion about home affordability. Oh, no, you and I just talked about it on a Monday. Home affordability and how the dream of home ownership is continuing to get out of reach of Arizonans. But then yet, when you take a look, and this is the encouraging news, and this is why I'm like, get in the game now. Take care of business. Of all 50 states, Arizona, as far as being distressed, ranks number 16. Not so bad, especially when we're getting caught up in all the centralism of just, how bad the housing market is and da-da-da-da-da.
Well,
I want to say 16th least burden.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as much as we gripe about traffic, our transportation system is amazing. It is nothing like Chicago,
not the
Houston,
101 in
New York.
Raintree right now. That thing sucks.
Oh man, they need to hurry up and get that done.
But you know what I'm saying. I mean, we have a fantastic infrastructure, so it's not very uncommon if you live in New York to have an hour-long commute every single day each way, right? Here, if you're an hour away, I mean, you could be on the other side of town with rush hour. And so it's very easy to swallow that pill if you're from those areas. But here, we've kind of taken it for granted. And so if you are one of those people that are thinking that, hey, I would like to go somewhere where I don't have as much stress, and it's okay if I'm driving a half hour, 45 minutes to and from work, you can get some huge killer deals that are amazing investment properties within a half hour, 45 minutes, darn near anywhere. So I say all that because we always have that saying, you drive until you qualify. So even if it takes you a little bit of time to get your feet under you, there's a job here for you. And you don't need to have some fancy college education. There's a lot of IT jobs that people don't have degrees in. That
taking care of our computers and our Facebook.
Yeah, right. But unfortunately, the only thing that I have to say about those cities is while there is still a ton of potential there in the near future, there's even more in some of the outlying areas. I see Peoria, I see Glendale, I see Litchfield, I see Waddell, I see Apache Junction.
Waddell, I think it's a gold mine.
And it's untapped. And so if you're one of those people wanting to look for the long play, I always just draw a line around these big areas and say, all right, I know that in the next 5-10 years, this is going to be the city that's on
all
the
right.
map.
Next week, I think we should talk about Waddell.
Okay.
And with your whole diagram thing and building the circle, and Waddell needs to be paid attention to.
For sure.
All right. We were talking about the least most burdened cities in Arizona when it comes down to stress and financial stress. And though it is a great place to live, buying property and getting the right mortgage program can bring an element of stress. And our team of real estate wealth managers and Justin's team, we can make it as stress-free as it is possible, but it does take you to some effort to reach out to us. All you got to do is text the word stress to 623-AZ-RECON. That's stress to 623-AZ-RECON.
Thank you for joining us on the Real Estate 401k Show. If you want more information on how to build wealth, click on the link or text us at 623-297-3266. That's 623-AZ-RECON.